Hey, Love Riders, it's me, Lois, and I'm here with my new series, or I should say mini series, about Carlos King. And the reason I wanted to do this series is because I hear Carlos King bragging about, I created, and I just wanted to rebunk and debunk or debunk and rebunk some of the claims that he has made and just go ahead and give you a timeline into the shows that Carlos King has done and also has claimed that he created and also imploded at the same time. Some of them were successful, and I'm going to say I can count on one hand how many of his shows have been highly successful. And then the rest, I don't know what happened. It could be ego, it could be, who knows. But let's just start out with all commentary is alleged and in my opinion, with some actual and factual, okay? So Carlos King claims that he is the king of reality TV. But we all know Alan Funt is one of the kings of reality TV. Does anybody remember Candid Camera? Because I know when I was a kid, a black kid, okay, growing up in a black household, okay, and on 119th Avenue and Suffolk Boulevard, Jamaica, Queens, 11434, Southside. My grandma used to put on Alan Funt all the time. Okay, Candid Camera was a standard in our household. That's what we used to watch. Now, we weren't always able to watch TV, because we had to have this. We had to come in from school. The first thing we had to do was clean up the house. And then we did our homework. And then we prepared dinner. Of course, I was the one that started the dinner while everybody else just, helped handle pots. My sous chefs, you know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, if we didn't get all this stuff done, it was a possibility we wasn't going to be able to watch TV that night. So we tried to make it our mission to get in there and get shit done. Okay. So, also there was PBS. They had a show, and I'm reading it from my little cliff notes here because I ain't going to remember everything. And it was created by Craig Gilbert. Well, actually, he was the producer. I don't know if he was the creator, but it was in 1973. And it was called An American Family, and it ran from January 11th, 1973 to March 29th, 1973. But they had 10 million viewers, okay? And it was supposed to follow them for 7 months of their lives, okay? So right now the show is 52 years old now. I think 3 members of the family are deceased. There is a documentary about 50 years later, which I'm going to watch later. It doesn't have anything to do with this, but that's part of this. It's because that's reality TV. Carlos King claims to be the king of reality series. So one of the shows that I found out that Carlos King was an executive producer on was happened to be one of Diddy's shows, okay? And it was called The Four. And it was actually on Fox Network, okay? So let's talk about that because I didn't know about that or I don't remember it. Y'all got to remember I'm six years old. So I choose to remember what I want to and choose to forget what I want to forget. So just go ahead and bear with me. Okay, so it was produced by ITV Entertainment, Moza Formats, and Revolt Studio. So Kingdom Reign Entertainment probably, or Kingdom Reign, whatever it was or is, was not formed at that time. Okay. It was 2 seasons, 14 episodes, and Carlos King was the executive producer. P. Diddy was the producer. And it was considered the best talent show at that time. It was a reality show because, people are trying to get into stardom. You know what I'm saying? So Carlos King had a part in that. They did win the National Films TV Award, which is a cool. Yay. Okay. But the reason I'm doing this series, like I said, is because Carlos King is bragging on everything that he has done. And I don't see him giving credit to anyone else, And I've done some research, Y'all might think I'm being petty. I can be called petty. You call me what you want, just don't call me late for dinner, okay? So I went in and I asked Google a question. I said, what do Carlos King's peers really think of him? This is the question I posed to Google. This is not AI. This is just plain Google. I said, it is impossible to definitively know what Carlos King's peers think of him in a single comprehensive way. Peers in this context could mean many things, including colleagues in the reality TV industry, fellow podcasters, or even just people who know him professionally. However, here's a general idea based on his professional profile. Carlos King is known as CEO and founder of Kingdom Reign Entertainment, an unscripted production company, according to Real Screen Summit. And I get when they say unscripted, but let's be real clear. They're scripted, unscripted, or unscripted and scripted, or whatever the flip and dip you want to call it. But they are not unscripted, because the reality shows that I remember from back in my day were literally unscripted. And you got to truly see people's true interaction to having a microphone or a camera pointed in their face when they were living out their daily lives, okay? They said he is also the host of podcast Reality with the King. And he has experience as an associate producer at Bravo. Okay. His Wikipedia page indicates he is a Detroit native, which all of us knows, who studied mass communications. Now, don't think because you studied mass communications or any type of communications that you're going to be good at communications. Because as I see, Carlos King is not good at communications. I took communications in high school. I went to Hillcrest High School in Jamaica, Queens, New York, okay? And that was here up on the hill, across the street from the pizza shop that everybody hung out at after school and whatnot, okay? Off of Hillside Avenue, So up in that area over there. I don't know if y'all familiar with that Parsons Boulevard area, but if you're from the New York, Jamaica, Queens area, South Side, then you know what I'm talking about, okay? But Carlos King has decided in his journey that he's not going to credit anyone else but himself for his journey and his success. And I just think that we should talk about it. That's it. That's all. No more, no less. Okay, and they said, given this information, it's reasonable to assume his peers in the reality TV industry, particularly within the production and podcasting sphere, likely view him as a experienced professional. Okay, if you want to say he's experienced, I'll give him experience, but I'll give him immaturity at the same time, because you hate on your cast members for being successful, or the people that you chose to do your shows. You have chosen to place yourself above everyone and then pick and choose your favorites, and then you pick and choose the ones that you hate. And more than likely, the ones that you hate are the one that's bringing the tea, that's bringing the views, that's bringing it, period. Okay? And then it also says that he's creative and knowledgeable. His role as a podcast host, not executive producer or producer of reality TV, but a podcast host, and the success of his production company suggests he is creative and knowledgeable about the industry. So yes, Carlos, they are saying that you are creative and you are knowledgeable, but that does not mean that you know how to execute properly, that it benefits everyone on the platform that you are attempting to present to us. Okay, and it says, however, this is a general overview. To understand what his peers truly think, you would need to delve deeper into specific groups of people who work with him, such as those who have worked on his podcast or reality shows. And we know we've been there and done that. Okay, Carlos King is the king of chaos. Okay, I'm just gonna call a thing a thing. He's the king of chaos because he has imploded so many relationships with his stars. And when I say stars, I mean the ones that make the shows that he is involved with executive producing pop. You dig? Melody Cherie, i.e., okay, and Holly Cologne, Willie Cologne. Come on, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So Gucci, you know what I'm talking about, and a bunch of other people. Carlos King has not learned how to appreciate the people that literally put the tithes in his offering. He has not learned to appreciate it because what he has done is claimed ownership of everything that basically comes from their mouths, their persons, their beings, their machinations, their actions, or what have you. He is claiming he is the controller and all being of everything that they do. And we all know that that's not true. Guys, this is the first episode, so I hope you will bear with me. I know it was a little long in the tooth, or however you want to see it, but I just want you to understand that this is a mini series, so it is going to progress. There's going to be more information that I am going to give you, but I am starting with this first show, like I told you, the A, okay, and it was on I don't even remember what network it was on. I wrote it down somewhere, but it was the let's be real clear, the first 2 seasons, because they only had 2 seasons. The very first season was Fox's most watched and highest rated new unscripted series in nearly 4 years, okay? And about 4.19% in viewerships in the millies. We're talking about it in the millies. And season 2 only had 2.72. And unfortunately, the show was canceled due to low ratings compared to its competitor, The Masked Singer. Okay, it had 2 seasons, 14 episodes. The first season only had 6 episodes, and then season 2 had the 8. So the season 1 with the 6th episode outshone season 2 by almost double. Okay, and then of course there was no official announcement from Fox before they canceled the show. But Carlos King did have a hand in that. It wasn't just him by himself, but this is one of the shows that he was involved with. And I'm just trying to lay a foundation and a pattern for where I'm going with this series. You can stay aboard this train with me if you want to. If you choose not to, I'm okay with that too, because I know the true low riders, ride or diers will stay true to this train ride. So I just want to tell y'all, get down in these comments. Tell me what you think about this video. Let me know if you want to hear more. Also, I have questions. Do you have questions for me? Go ahead and ask me. I'm going to go ahead and be posting my videos to the point where you'll be able to ask me questions. I'm not ready to go live yet because the wires that I ordered for my equipment are the wrong wires. I don't know how I did that. Me and my son looked it up, but we ordered the wires and it's still not coming on. My husband is thinking that I need headphones. I have wireless headphones, but he's saying it's not going to work with the wireless headphones. So we're going to go ahead, have to get me some headphones, you dig? So we're going to wait for the headphones. I'm not going to order them for probably another 2 weeks to a month because it's not that serious. I can still talk to you guys right here on my iPhone. So I appreciate each and every single one of you for listening and rocking with me. And Wakanda forever. Peace. I'm out.